Here we have the current stock market analysis for Tesla Incorporated, stock ticker TSLA. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So as we can see here, the stock is taking a bit of a turn lower today. This is one of the worst performers on the day overall. Definitely in the tech space, that would be true. So what we're starting to see here is a bit of a retracement here to the downside. So what we're going to do in this video is identify some important support and resistance zones, some important price levels, so that hopefully traders can identify some profitable trading strategies for this stock going forward. So this is the daily price chart that we're looking at the moment. We just want to sort of take a broad view here, and we will drill in a bit closer in a moment. But what we can see here overall is that the stock price itself is sort of running into a failure here just above that prior price high, which came in at 271. So near term here, what we're looking at is a resistance zone that has posted at, this would be 264.86. So let's just quickly mark that in here, 264.86. So, we're just under $5 away from that prior all-time high. So this is a significant trend movement here in the positive direction. This was a major rally for the stock. That was essentially that rally from 138 all the way to 271. It was a very massive price movement to the top side. And as we can see here, share prices have started to kind of roll over at the moment. So, there are some real questions here because, we have now broken through, at least on a spike basis, we've broken through that 23.6% Fibonacci zone, which is found right here. To measure this move, what we're doing is we're looking at 182 to those 264 highs, and we're looking at this essential price movement here. And we can see already that, the share price itself is attempting to find some, support here right around the 20-day exponential moving average. That would be this yellow rising line here, which is starting to move into that 23.6% fib zone, but it didn't quite get there. So it didn't really get there fast enough to help support share prices in that region. So currently what we're looking at here is the potential for a bit of a price failure in advance of that prior price high. So if that were to occur and we were to see some continued downside here, that would then give us a series of lower highs that would be a bit concerning here for anybody that is along the stock. So, it does need to be kept in mind here. We are kind of heading into that robo-taxi event that is going to be held for this company. If anybody knows anything about Apple, for example, I mean, that stock tends to rally quite strongly when the company holds those types of events. So we will need to see, we will need to, sort of assess whether or not this happens when Tesla kind of releases or uncovers its robotaxi event on October 10th. So, there is potential here for share price movement to the top side, but we're starting to run right into these resistance levels as well. So I think that you're sort of, seeing some two-way price action at the moment. And I do think that ultimately we will see a decisive price move in one of these directions, but I think that we could be sort of stalling out here until we do get that event risk on October 10th. So, as we can see here, what we're currently looking at is the potential for a doji candlestick formation on the daily price chart. We would need to see how things actually close today in order to make that determination. But I do want to move into the shorter term timeframes here. Just first, quickly, I will sort of look at the indicator readings at the moment, because as we can see, the majority of the market's momentum here is remaining in positive territory. We do see some shorter term bearish momentum that has started to develop here, some bearish trajectory in the underlying share price momentum. But the slope on this line here is a bit drastic. I mean, this does look a bit unsustainable here. And if we were to see share prices kind of bounce off of this longer term upward trend momentum reading, I do think that it would be fairly easy for the RSI, the relative strength index, to bounce off of here and then break through that negative momentum indicator. So that is how things stand at the moment. We are seeing some, a bit of some conflicting signals here, but I do think that this bearish momentum reading is a bit more unsustainable. And then we also do have the longer reading, which is still bullish. So overall, this wouldn't concern me too much. But what you really want to see at this point is for the indicator reading to bounce off of this lower trend line here and then start to move higher. So just quickly for the remainder of this video, we will look at the shorter term timeframes to get an assessment of what's most likely to start to occur here. And as we can see, we are starting to see some fairly significant resistance that is developing right around that 265 area overall. We have seen some bounces here through the support zone. That's found at the 23.6% Fibonacci level. And then from the historical perspective, the next level of support that I'm seeing here to the downside comes in right around 237.50. So that would be roughly this area here. This was a fairly significant area of resistance in prior trading sessions. Then we did actually test this area as support. So as you can see here, we sort of move into 237.50. We see a failure here. We see sort of a slower upward price movement. Share prices break above here and then retest it again from the top side before bouncing higher. So I do think that this is a fairly significant level to watch. We have seen a fair amount of two-way activity that has occurred in that region. So, as long as share prices are able to maintain a foothold above that area, I do think that overall high at 271 does remain in focus. It's going to be hard to kind of ignore this robotaxi event on the 10th. We're probably going to see some choppy price action here into that event. A lot of what could be two-way price action, buying and selling activity, a lot of short-term trading going on because this is such a closely watched stock. And then this will be a fairly significant event here for the company. So, I would expect there to be some erratic price action here at the moment. I'm not sure that I would really recommend buying or selling during these types of conditions unless you're really looking at shorter term timeframes. But if you were looking to establish a long position into the event, maybe assuming that we would see a bounce, maybe a good event, a lot of optimism generated by the event, a lot of news headlines generated by the event. And if you were looking for an area to buy the stock in anticipation of that, I do think that this 237.50 area is a fairly decent candidate for long positions, but we would probably need to see a bit of a retracement lower in order to get to that point. So here's the current stock market update for Tesla Incorporated, stock ticker TSLA. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.